Travolting presents Bobbin for Robin. Hosted by Jeff Sweeney and Stuart Elmore. Covering Insomnia. Enjoy the episode.
Oh my God. I'm just so tired. Yeah, that's good leg work.
Very tired.
I'm gonna go take a nap.
I can't sleep anymore. It's too fucking bright out.
Welcome to our episode on Insomnia, folks.
Yes.
I want to just say right off the bat, come out of the gate hot.
Are you tired, Jeff?
I'm a little tired. I should be more tired for this recording. Stuart and I have been up for 82 hours in preparation for this episode.
Yes.
So remember when there was a moment where I pitched we fly to Alaska and record this episode in the town in Night Mute?
That's a fake town, though.
I know it's a fake town, but in the real equivalent of it. Because there's like a real place where the sun doesn't set for half the year.
Yeah.
I pitched we record the episode there.
During the polar day.
Yes.
That's what they call it, right? There's polar day and polar night.
Yes.
Polar days where they have like 30 days of
Yes, essentially like
the sun never
30,
sets.
Yeah, 30 days of endless sun and they
Yeah.
have 30 days of endless dark.
That's so cool.
Wonderful.
I would love to like spend a month at a place like that just to
Yeah.
kind of see what it does to you psychologically.
Well, you know what it would do to you psychologically. It would give you insomnia and it would drive you
insomnia.
crazy and you
Yeah.
feel immense guilt over your partner's death and the various unbecomings you've done in the police force.
Midnight Sun. I think that's what they call it. They call it Midnight Sun and Polar Night.
I like that comic. So out of the gate,
Yeah.
I think this movie's quite good. I like this movie.
I think it's like pretty good.
However,
Yeah.
and I do think the whole insomnia aspect of it is basically its strongest. I think this movie does a really wonderful job at putting you in the mindset and like really making you as the audience member feel tired.
Yes.
I think that's Nolan's greatest accomplishment. It's like it's a very haptic experience, making you like you watch this movie and you genuinely like start to feel Pacino's tiredness through the filmmaking and his performance.
Yeah.
All that being said, it is really funny to just talk about this movie and just be like, oh my God, I'm so tired.
He looks like a sleepy boy in this movie.
Looks the most tired anybody has ever looked in a movie.
Yeah. He looks very tired.
I generally do wonder if Pacino just like stayed up for like didn't sleep during production.
Well, it's like I'm almost thinking like props to the makeup team or whoever because they did a really good job of making him look fucking exhausted. I also know part of that is like his performance, but I mean, you just look at it and he's just like,
he looks.
Oh my God. I'm so fucking tired.
I haven't slept in a couple of days. It's so bright in here.
yeah.
But the thing is, he's sleepy from the opening frame. He's sleepy before he finds out the town doesn't have night.
I was gonna say, yeah, he's on the plane is the opening image, and he's already looking a little tired. So like that's you know, it's fun. It's very fun to see him this way. Yeah, I think we've talked about this before on the podcast, but you haven't seen the movie 30 Days of Night.
I've not. We talked about this.
It's
the same town with his vampires.
Yeah, it's the same town in Alaska, but instead of midnight sun, it's polar night. So they have 30 days where the sun doesn't come up, and then when that happens,
The vampires come.
the vampires
talked
arrive.
about this. Oh, we promised last week that we would be joined by a guest this week. We promised that
did.
Brian DeLisi would be here. Unfortunately, traffic has prevented that from occurring.
Yeah, you know.
So if you're driving on,
we're talking about midnight sun and polar nights. Chicago got hit by a polar snowstorm.
Yes.
So we're 6 inches underneath snow right
and
now.
unfortunately, we are based on our turnaround time, we're unable to reschedule the episode. So
Yeah.
pour one out for the legend. He'll be on again soon.
He'll be on again soon. And yeah, you know, Insomnia, directed by Christopher Nolan.
It's cool that we're talking about a Nolan movie, even if like
It's an early Nolan movie.
I feel like this is the most forgotten Nolan movie.
Well,
if you discount Following, which I'm discounting.
Yeah, right.
Because that's like his student.
I kind of discount Following too. It is like it's a sophomore movie because like Memento is known as like his breakout movie.
Yeah,
this is his like essentially sophomore film. And I'm glad you brought that up that it's most like forgettable. There was a book came out in 2020. It was Tom Schoen's book, The Nolan Variations. It's like a book about Christopher Nolan's like journey. Came out in 2020, and he quotes Christopher Nolan, and where he says that he thinks Insomnia is his most underrated movie he's made. And he says, quote, "I'm very proud of the film. I think of all my films, it's probably the most underrated. The reality is it's one of my most personal films in terms of what it was to make it. It was very vivid. It was a very vivid time in my life. It was my first studio film. I was on location. It was the first time I worked with huge movie stars. That's not really for me to say."
Joe Pantoliano.
You're right. That's not. Or like Guy Pearce was like not an unknown actor.
He was coming up. He had been in LA Confidential at that point.
Exactly.
So disrespect to Guy Pearce and Joe Pantoliano.
Yeah. But I mean, when you're working with Al Pacino, Robin Williams.
Yeah, but Joe Pantoliano, Joey Pants.
Fair. Then he continues, says, "That's not
when
really."
I taste the steak, I just don't care.
He says, "That's not really for me to say, but every now and again, I meet a filmmaker that's actually the film that they're interested in or want to talk about. Yeah, very proud of the film." Unquote. So like even Nolan, like as late as 2020, has still like looked back on this film with really fond memories. And like I did a lot of research for this movie. There's a lot of behind the scenes, a lot of interviews, like a lot of press for this movie. So there's a lot of interviews and stuff you can listen to, and it's just funny. Hearing there's an interview series that Al Pacino and Christopher Nolan did. It's in 2 parts. Each part's like 8 minutes long. It's on YouTube. You can look it up. But it's interesting seeing like a young Christopher Nolan talk to in 2002 Al Pacino, which I think by this point 2002 Al Pacino, like it's clear that this is post Godfather 3 career Al Pacino.
Yeah,
this is in Dog Day Afternoon, Scarface, Godfather.
No,
Al
this
Pacino.
is we have to do the Pacino.
This is over the peak Al Pacino, right?
No, I wouldn't. I would say this is like the end of the peak Pacino.
Really?
Because basically, like Pacino's run, he's 62 at the point of this movie.
Yeah.
So he's 60. I'm pulling up his filmography just so I can like look around. Because like he comes out of the gate in the 70s extremely hot. Mm-hmm. His third movie is The Godfather. Then he kind of has a legendary run. Godfather, Serpico, Dog Day Afternoon, Cruising, into the 80s with Scarface. He kind of has a little bit of a dip, late 80s. He still gets Oscar nominations for being in Dick Tracy and Godfather 3. And then has this remarkable resurgence in the early 90s.
Right. Yeah, I'm forgetting like Scent of a Woman,
he's in
Carlito's Way.
He's in Glengarry Glen Ross.
He
gets an Oscar. He wins his Oscar for Scent of a Woman, one of the more insane wins. That was a win where there's just like, we got to give Al Pacino an Oscar, right?
Yeah, right.
And we kind of ignored all his best performances. Have you ever seen Scent of a Woman?
No.
That is a movie where he is playing a blind man, and like every scene is just him walking in the room going, "Hooah! I can see, I can't see shit."
It's like Insomnia. It's like, I can't sleep, and it said a woman's, I can't see.
But this is like his Oscar win for Scent of a Woman is like the key unlatching for big Pacino, which ultimately leads to Heat. Which is like a huge performance. He's incredible in Heat. He's like the best movie. And then he does a lot of cops off of Heat.
Yeah.
Does Heat, Donnie Brasco. He reunites with Michael Mann for The Insider, does Oliver Stone with Any Given Sunday, The Devil's Advocate, where he plays the devil.
So he's for sure not in his like dip period yet. I
think this is basically like the end of like the second movie star run for Pacino.
Okay.
Because he does, it's
then
this
it's
and Simone back to back.
Which we've
Two
talked
movies
about.
we've talked about on this show.
Yeah.
And then he isn't really in anything big again. But by the next time...
God, I'm looking at a movie that's listed on this thing called Giggly. And it's got
Geely. Have you never seen Geely?
It's got...
Stuart.
I'm just looking at the 2.7 stars on IMDb.
Stuart. Have you never heard of Geely?
No.
Oh my God.
I have been talking to the cops.
I cannot believe you are unaware of Geely.
What's the...
Geely is the movie where Ben
Geely
Affleck
Corner.
and Jennifer Lopez meet each other. It's the Bennifer movie. It is directed by Martin Brest, who had done Scent of a Woman. Martin Brest, very fascinating career.
Yeah.
It's just like it is such a reviled movie that it ends Martin Brest's career. He decides, well, clearly I simply shan't make movies anymore, and retires off of it. And there's a scene where like Jennifer Lopez refers to her vagina as a turkey and says, "Come on, gobble gobble, stuff me up," or something like that. I can't remember.
No.
Justin Bartha, he of National Treasure Book of Secrets fame. You know what I'm talking about? Riley in National Treasure, and he's the Doug in The Hangovers.
Yeah, I got you.
He plays a mentally challenged man
Oh, great.
who is in almost every frame of the movie. There's no reprieve from him trying to get to the Baywatch.
Oh my God.
It is generally considered one of the worst films of all time.
I'm looking at a Mick LaSalle San Francisco Chronicle review. Gave is a 0 on IMDb's Metascore, and it says the most thoroughly joyless and an inept film of the year and one of the worst of the decade. We're talking about a disaster, and not of the fun quote showgirls variety either. Damn.
Stuart, there are movies that I've watched and like I don't turn movies off. I don't walk out of movies. If I don't like a movie, I just usually I finish it. Just to like, pay it its due, and also just like I can't leave things unfinished. I watched Geely, and I did finish it. But it was one of the only movies I've ever watched and just been like, I cannot justify to myself giving this my full attention right now.
Michael Stragow, Baltimore Sun, excruciating. The movie proves to be singularly unfunny and static almost from the non-get-go.
I just like
nothing happens.
found busy work to do while I was watching Geely.
So wait, what's Al Pacino's role in this movie?
I have no fucking idea. I cannot remember him being in it.
Because it's like, you're right. I was thinking
it's probably like a small role.
Like we got Heat 8.3, we got Donnie 7.7, Devil's Advocate 7.5, Insider 7.8, we got a couple 7.2 Insomnia, 6.1 Simone, and we keep going, and then Geely 2.7. Nothing gets a 2.7 on IMDb.
But basically the point being,
out of 52,000 reviews, fuck.
Basically the point being, after 99, Al Pacino hit 60.
Yeah.
And the immediate follow-ups to him being 60 are Insomnia and Simone, which are both like kind of big swings.
Old grizzled cop movies.
Yeah. And
Not
then
Simone.
it's just like he's in The Recruit where he's playing like, it's an action movie where he's playing like the mentor to Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
He's not the main guy anymore.
Right.
He's in and then like the next big movie he pops up in is Ocean's 13, where he's like playing the big bad guy in the Ocean's movie. And then he's in Righteous Kill, which is such a wonderful object. So this is Righteous Kill.
Okay.
Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, two legends of their time.
Yeah.
They're known for being in 4 movies together. 3 of them are 3 of the most canonical gangster movies of all time. Godfather 2.
Part 2.
Heat.
Yeah. Heat. Yep.
And The Irishman.
Yeah.
The 4th one is a low-budget action movie called Righteous Kill, which came out in 2008.
Wow.
Which is very funny.
Wow.
But like this is basically the end of the Pacino run.
Yeah.
Insomnia.
Yeah.
And that's partially kind of why Nolan probably gets him for it. Nolan also is a huge acolyte of Michael Mann. And like has cited Heat as one of his canonical movies.
Right.
This is cribbing a little bit from Heat, where it's like the two villains trying to understand each side of each other.
Yeah.
He will come back to the same topic in The Dark Knight, which is functionally just like kind of a remake of Heat, but with Batman.
Yeah.
So Nolan definitely like comes back to the same, world he's searching in Insomnia.
Isn't every good cop movie just a remake of Heat?
Basically. But I do think really when you break it down, Insomnia it's quite good. I do like it.
Yeah.
I think if this had been made by any other filmmaker,
It
you'd
could've
be
been-
like, that's great. That's a great cop movie, which still is.
Yeah.
But I think when you look at it based on what Nolan becomes, it's like a good, sturdy little cop movie he made at the beginning of his career. Is kind of its legacy.
That's like, I gave it a 3 out of 5 on IMDb, which is like, I thought it was pretty good. I didn't like, it's not a movie that I'm like still thinking about and reeling with.
Because
but,
like the rest of his career, I would say besides maybe Batman Begins, which I like, he's basically like, he develops his own style from I would say the Prestige onward.
Yeah.
It's still evident in here a little bit. But like the Prestige onward, he kind of just like elevates as a filmmaker.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Prestige, Dark Knight, Inception.
Yeah.
Dark Knight
Because
Rises,
I definitely do feel
Interstellar.
like the Prestige is where you really like lock in that Nolan look.
The Nolan like vibe,
Which
even
I-
more so than look.
Which I think personally changes once you get to Tenet.
Well, he swaps his DP
Yes.
for Interstellar onward.
Interesting, because I thought Interstellar still kind of had that Nolan-y Prestige through Dark Knight look.
It has a little bit of it, but it's very Hoyt van Hoytema. He also just gets really into IMAX photography.
Yeah,
by the time you're getting to Dunkirk and Tenet.
That's what I'm saying. I think like Dunkirk and Tenet, it's like that's where I notice it's like Nolan's now, I think of Nolan as like he started off with like the very like noir-esque, like dark, twisting, kind of like a mind-bending psychological filmmaker that's now elevated to like I make these massive fucking blockbusters. But they're not actually massive blockbusters. It's hard to describe. I kind of feel like
Nolan's thing is
he's not a Villeneuve.
He's a plot-based filmmaker at the start of his career.
Yeah.
And I think by the time you get to Dunkirk, he switches from a plot-based filmmaker to a vibe-based filmmaker.
Yeah, that's a good way of thinking about it.
Like the 3 Batman movies, even The Prestige, those are very plot-driven movies.
Yes.
The Prestige are trying to figure out the mystery. You're trying to figure out the magic trick.
Yes.
Inception, it's a structure. The whole movie's about plot structure.
Yeah.
The 3 Dark Knight movies, obviously.
Very like they're good, but very cut and dry, good guy, bad guy. Yeah.
The good guy, bad guy, and like he's doing really interesting stuff. The Dark Knight's a masterpiece. But they're about a plot. By the time Interstellar, which which is my favorite of his films, is when he starts like he's confident. He becomes a much more confident filmmaker.
Yeah. He's
had success. He's proved that on his original ideas, he can garner success. He doesn't have to pull back his instincts to appeal. And like Dunkirk functionally doesn't really have a plot. It's like 3 storylines all occurring out of sync with each other,
right?
Leading to one moment where they all intercept.
And this is because we're going to talk about Tenet.
And then Tenet is a movie that starts with someone literally looking basically at the camera and saying, "Don't try to understand it, just feel it." That's a movie where it's just like you're just along for the ride of Tenet.
And it didn't work for me.
Tenet took me 3 views to lock into.
I couldn't make it through the first one.
The first one I was like, what is happening? And then it ended and I was like, I mean, it's cool, but like
it asks a lot from the audience. Even though it puts on the personification of we don't want to ask a lot from you. Yeah. So go into this not trying to figure it out, just feel it. But then it's
asking you a lot to like let go of.
That's the best way to describe it. It's asking you a lot by asking you to not do a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's the thing about the Nolan movies, we're trying to figure out if it's a dream or if it's reality, like Inception. We're trying to figure out how the magic trick is done. We're trying to figure out like Interstellar, if they're going to be able to make it to the planet and save humankind. Dunkirk, we're trying to figure out like if they're going to be able to save the survivors or whatever. Tenet's the movie where it's like, okay, put all those instincts aside and just feel the movie.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to. Like I feel that way.
I will say by the third viewing of Tenet, which is it's really hard to like justify being like, you gotta watch it 3 times to get it.
Yeah.
When it's like a 2.5 hour long movie.
Exactly.
But I did watch it 3 times. And by the 3rd time I was really locked into it.
Okay.
I'm not going to argue everybody should watch it 3 times.
I love you for that, Jeff. I will not be watching this movie 3 times to try to understand it.
Because I watched it and I was like, okay. Then I watched it again at home some other time and I was like, okay. And then I went to because they did the re-release of it. Because in 2020 it was like had a very marginal release.
Yeah.
And then it led to Nolan never working with Warner Brothers again.
Right. Tenet was the one that it was like they did like the week-long release and then straight to Netflix or whatever.
They did like kind of a half-ass theatrical release.
Right.
That he insisted like, no, I only want this movie shown in theaters. Right. And then Warner Brothers like was kind of uncommittal to it. And then they announced for all the releases the next year, we're all going to go straight to streaming.
And then he broke ties and went to Universal.
He went to Universal for Oppenheimer and The Odyssey.
Which I think Oppenheimer's the better version of what they're trying to do with Tenet.
I know. Again, Oppenheimer is like...
It's a vibes movie.
Interstellar is my favorite of films. I think Oppenheimer is his masterpiece. I think Oppenheimer is like everything that he's been setting out to do from the beginning of his career, including Insomnia.
Yeah.
It's a movie all about vibes. There is like a plot structure to it.
Right.
But ultimately, like...
None of it really matters.
It doesn't, like,
too much.
They're going to build the bomb and they're going to drop it.
Yeah.
Like, how it ends.
Yeah.
Unless you've been living under a rock, in which case, why are you at the AMC seeing this movie?
Yeah.
like, and it was a huge success. It made like $900 million.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer, yeah, great.
And I feel like the Odyssey is going to be very similar, where it's like, we know what the story of the Odyssey is. It's been told countless times. So that's going to be the unique, interesting aspect.
I'm very interested to see what he does with the Odyssey.
Yeah.
I've seen like some of those behind the scenes pictures and it looks insane.
All the hype seems like it's going to be like the biggest movie of the decade is what it feels like. Next to Avatar.
I will not take on my Avatar Fire and Ash coming out how many days after this episode drops?
This episode drops.
This episode comes out on the 10th.
10th.
So in 8 days, folks, you'll be able to go see Avatar Fire and Ash at your local multiplex. Go to Google IMAX right now. Find your nearest IMAX and book your tickets now, because I will be booking the rest of them if you don't.
It was a
Colonel Miles Quaritch. What a guy. Colonel Miles Quaritch. What a guy. You know, we love Colonel Miles Quaritch, don't we, folks?
It was a good that was a good Nolan corner. Yeah. I think my favorite is probably Inception.
Inception is the thing about any of his movies. If you're like, that's my favorite, I'm like, yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Just because that's a movie where you watch it once, it's really good, you like it, and then you watch it again with the aspect that, oh, it's a whole commentary on like making movies.
It's a movie about making a movie.
And then you watch that with that in mind, you're like, oh my God, like that's the Danny DeVito in the movie theater, like, oh my God, I get it.
It is the first 2 acts of Inception are so ham-fisted.
Yeah.
And I say this as a compliment.
Yeah.
Because it is just exposition. It is just them explaining ad nauseum the rules of the dream world.
Yes.
Broken up by an occasional action chase through Mombasa.
Yes.
There's explaining the rules, explaining everybody's role in this,
Yeah.
explaining all those things again and again. Just so that when you get to the 3rd act of the movie,
you don't ask
and
any
you're
questions.
in the dream, you understand every single thing that's happening. You don't have to think about it. You like, and you're able to watch a 3-act structure.
Yeah.
You're able to watch this whole mini movie within the movie.
Yeah.
And just understand it completely.
And it's also just
taken along for the ride.
It's an ultimate heist movie too.
Yeah.
But you're not questioning it when a train goes through the middle of the city.
Yeah, you get why.
You get why. Or when he like drops the assault rifle and picks up an RPG.
Yeah.
You don't ask why. And them changing faces in like the movie. It's like you don't ask
like
why.
Leo looks like Nolan in that movie, and that movie is like also about how Leo just cannot make these stories without inserting himself into them. They're like, stop putting yourself in these movies.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I keep putting myself in the movie. I can't stop it. That's why Inception's so good.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
Because like The Dark Knight is like one of those like forgive me if this is too forward, but I almost feel like anybody says The Dark Knight's their favorite Nolan movie is almost kind of like a cop out. Because like The Dark Knight, while yes, it is a Nolan movie, 100%. I do agree with you that like once he gets to Interstellar, it's where his catalog shifts into like we're making this less about plot, we're making it more about vibes. And I feel like the film bros who talk about Nolan, who love Interstellar, and I'm not saying that as a diss, but then they go back and say it's Interstellar and The Dark Knight is 2 best movies. And I have to think here and be like, okay, you realize that's 2 different directors you're talking about, sort of.
Also, the thing about The Dark Knight is like it is the highest possible version of itself that it can be. And that's what's so impressive about it is like he kind of peaked and mastered that like it's
that genre,
because functionally it's a very similar idea to Insomnia. It's a movie about it's being a cop, questioning if you're doing any good. And you find a bad guy or a villain who understands you so much more than you'd like to admit. And you know, at the end, you have to sacrifice yourself to defeat the villain.
Yeah.
But which happens in both this and The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
The reason we're talking about Nolan is in totality right now.
Yeah.
And so I think The Dark Knight is the complete package, is his final payoff of this storytelling idea.
Yeah.
And what I like is he does that and then he shifts.
Yeah.
He's like, he doesn't try and repeat the same thing.
Yeah.
Something that can be said about Nolan, whatever your thoughts, is he's never repeating himself.
Yeah.
Because the Dark Knight is an epic crime movie.
Yep.
It follows up with 2 other things. One of them is Inception, which we talked about. The other is The Dark Knight Rises, which could just be, hey, the Joker's back. I know Heath Ledger had passed, but you could have done it. They could just, the Riddler's here.
Yeah.
They could have done the same thing. And instead, The Dark Knight Rises is so weird.
Yeah.
It like
That's a whole episode.
the Dark Knight Rises
It's its own episode.
because like you're like, oh, it's another Batman movie. Surely like it'll be more of the Dark Knight. And it's like, no, it's like Bane is the villain. It starts with a James Bond heist plane sequence.
Yep.
It's also weirdly an adaptation of Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities.
Yeah.
It even ends with Commissioner Gordon reading a whole passage from The Tale of Two Cities.
Yeah.
But also it's kind of based on the Batman story Wasteland. Or whatever the one's called where Gotham gets like all the bridges get blown up.
I don't know this, but
I'm forgetting what the story is called.
well, to your point though, like you're absolutely right. Like he could have repeated himself with The Dark Knight. It was such a success. Nobody would have blamed him for it, but instead he goes into this very like
He makes such a weird swing.
James Bond anarchy, like social commentary on the nuclear age
The
thing.
Dark
and it's
Knight's like, what if you made 6 movies and you put them in one?
class warfare and all that stuff. Like it's packed with so much, which is partly what kind of hurts the movie.
Yeah,
in
but
some
it's
ways.
why I'm very forgiving of The Dark Knight Rises. Because I have so much respect for its ambition.
Yeah.
Even if I think a lot of it doesn't fully work.
I'll tell you the image of the trilogy, the Batman trilogy. There are 2 images that I'm not dying on this hill. I can't change my mind on this, but the 2 images that are in my head is like the Joker in the hospital, and Bane while the national anthem is playing.
Yeah, no, Bane While the National Anthem is great.
That is such like an image that is just seared into my brain where he's just like, what a beautiful voice as they're singing the national anthem and all their cops are going in the
Let me
tunnels.
see if I can do it.
What a lovely voice.
No. He says it like, what a lovely voice. Like
He does. He's very surprised.
as he's holding a detonator about to like blow up the city and like hold it hostage. It's just like, again, and that's where you can see the transformation of Nolan go from plot to like, that's why I think Dark Knight like fails a little bit because
Dark Knight?
It rises.
Okay.
Because you're right, as we talked about, and then I want to get back to Insomnia, but like as we talked about him going from plot mode director to vibes director, Dark Knight Rises feels like you're trying to do a little bit of both. Again, there's so much packed into this movie that on its own are good, but because it's at the end of the day, you're showing up to a movie called The Dark Knight Rises.
It's a film made by a very confident filmmaker.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of like a little bit of a course correction, or like an Icarus moment. And The Dark Knight Rises, very well reviewed, made a lot of money. I like it. So I'm not saying like he flew into the sun and like burned.
Yeah,
but I think like off of The Dark Knight being the 3rd biggest movie of all time when it released.
Yeah.
Inception being like $800 million, critically reviewed, Best Picture nominee. Like, at that point, as a filmmaker, you have to feel very confident in yourself.
Yeah.
And confident enough that you can say, all right, I don't have to like...
Stick to the rules
I don't
of
have
this
to...
genre.
I can kind of like do what I want now.
Yeah.
Because I clearly have good instincts.
Because there is a version
And
of
I
Dark
think-
Knight Rises that's just Bane v Batman, and there's not much else to it.
There's a version of The Dark Knight Rises that is like one of the 4 ideas in that movie. It is either the class warfare story, it is the Tale of Two Cities, it's the cop story,
the nuclear age,
the nuclear thing, or the Catwoman thing.
Yeah.
There's a version that's just like kind of following one path.
the Detective Robin mentorship thing. Like, yeah, it's packed full of so
It
much.
has so much going on.
Yeah.
And it's why there's the whole League of Shadows thing.
But that's why I think Insomnia rings so well to us, because we get to see Chris Nolan at his like primordial
Inception.
form.
It's Inception.
Yeah, and he's sticking to like a very crisp, clean idea at its most infancy level.
He's telling a cop story.
So here's a cop from LA who's got a little baggage.
Yeah.
He's solving a crime at a place he doesn't care about, comes to find out that this bad guy knows more about him than he does. And because he's in like a weakened state of insomnia, we are in his shoes on like, do we believe this guy? Do we not? Because then to transition one more time, Robin Williams.
Yes. In this movie.
In this movie.
The reason we're talking about it.
I thought he was phenomenal.
Oh, he's great.
I thought he's really
wonderful.
fucking good. So to go back a little bit more and talk about my history with this movie, because I had seen this movie before, but I watched it like a while ago. Like I want to say it was like 4 or 5 years ago. I watched this movie for the first time. I think I was doing like a Nolan binge. That was what I was doing. Because I was doing I did like a Nolan binge, and then after that I did a Denis Villeneuve binge. And when I was doing the Nolan binge, I started with Memento. I didn't do the following. and then went to Insomnia. And I remember like Memento captivated me to such a degree because it's Nolan's first movie, and you're watching it knowing it's Nolan's first movie, and you see all
it's
of the
very twisty.
It's all the Nolan twists that if anybody who's doing a Nolan binge and starts from Memento, they've already seen Inception.
Yeah.
So you're watching Memento knowing this guy's going to eventually make Inception, and you're seeing all that, and it catches you away.
Yeah.
I don't think Memento is a perfect movie, but like everybody knows that YouTube video of Nolan using the chalkboard and describing the plot of the movie, and they're like, "This guy's a fucking genius."
But no, it's smart
And
after
it's
you
like-
make Memento,
Right.
To not make like another movie like
Right.
that. He gets a studio deal, and he's like, "I'm going to make a sturdy cop thriller."
To that
This
degree,
movie's sturdy.
yeah. To that degree, I go from Memento to Insomnia, and I'm like, oh my god, like he did all his twisted things that he's gonna do later. It's so cool. And then you start Insomnia, and it's like plane ride.
Yeah.
He wakes up, and you're like, oh, sleepy, and I'm like,
Oh my god.
so like I'll admit, like I kind of like was like, okay, skip. Let's get to Batman Begins.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, all right, I don't really have that much care for this movie. Let's just get to let's get to the stuff I care about. Batman Begins, and The Prestige. So then I rewatched it like last night. I started it at 11 p.m.
The correct time to watch it.
And I just remember feeling like, wow, like it is great to see like a simple Nolan. Like this is where he's really getting into that. Like the plot doesn't really matter too much. It's very much about vibes, which is what we're going to get into. But like this is the most pre-Oppenheimer like Nolan movie, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stick by that. I think this is the most pre-Oppenheimer of his movies. Every other movie, which you can say is like a build up to Oppenheimer. I think if you want to watch the movie that is the most precipice to Oppenheimer, watch Insomnia. Because that is a very like, yes, there's a plot. Yes, it's a whodunit.
This movie's very hyper focused on one guy.
Yes.
It's a character study of, I want to say Vincent Hanna because that's his character in Heat. No, Detective, what's his name in this movie?
Will Dormer. Detective Dormer.
Because to your point, it feels very much like when you get to Oppenheimer and there's those sequences where it's very tight on his face and he's walking around like the world shifting around him as he's coming to terms with, the devastation he's had.
Yeah.
It feels there's a direct line you can draw from that to Insomnia.
Yeah. So I was watching Insomnia with that kind of mindset of like, this doesn't feel, when I watched this last, it didn't feel like that much of a Nolan movie. So I wonder if on the second viewing, if I'll get more out of it. And I did get more out of it because I was like, oh my God, yes, this is like where Nolan has like gone back to his roots a little bit in Oppenheimer, how it's very centrally focused on
It's very
one
much
guy.
a character study
Very much
about a
that
guy filled with regret.
emotional distress, regret, guilt, all those things. So, but it's told in a very isolated Alaskan town, and Robin Williams plays a bad guy.
Yes, Robin Williams does play the bad guy.
And I love Robin Williams.
It's weird because in Nolan's filmography, and then we'll talk about Robin.
Yeah.
In Nolan's filmography, like he's constantly kind of, moving a lot of the same chess pieces around.
Yeah.
That will pop up here and there.
Yeah.
Like the idea of the two of the hero and the villain who understand each other from this.
Yeah.
Ends up in The Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm.
The some of the character study aspects of this wind up in Oppenheimer.
Mm-hmm.
Or in Tenet, there's a quote about Oppenheimer, and then lo and behold, he makes Oppenheimer next.
Is there a thing in Oppenheimer about the Odyssey?
So there might be. Who knows? But then, like, you watch The Dark Knight Rises, and he has the fear of the nuclear bomb in that, and he loops back to that idea 10 years later. He's constantly like, he's a guy who has interests, and he's there. It's much like the train in Inception. His interests are always going to find their way into his movies.
Yeah.
So it makes all sense in the world that you watch Insomnia, and it's from the same brain meld of the guy who makes all the Oppenheimer, Interstellar, Tenet, and you're going to see similarities.
Yeah, and I think like I was expecting it to be like baby Nolan of like, oh, this is Nolan still finding his footing and trying to get into,
There's a little
like,
bit of that.
working his craft. But no, I honestly feel like I feel like I'm watching the exact same Nolan in this movie as I'm watching Nolan in like Prestige or Inception. Of course, there's like a few things that he's obviously gotten much better. Like the confidence level you can tell has grown from Insomnia. But like, I feel like filmmaking technique wise, did you feel like this was like a drastic difference?
No.
I agree.
Like it he has the same sensibilities.
There's obviously a difference in scale, of
Yes.
course, but I'm talking purely of filmmaking techniques, like where he decides to put the camera, how he decides to capture the action. I don't feel like much is different from this and like Oppenheimer.
In like Oppenheimer and Tenet, Interstellar, I would say he feels more confident with the camera.
Yeah.
He's more willing to try weird things in those movies.
Yeah.
I would say this like it still feels like a Nolan movie when you watch this.
Yeah.
It does have there's a little bit of it's more standard stuff.
Yeah.
But it still is very much from the same mind.
Yeah.
Robin.
Really good in this movie. So to Robin context, it's something that we've talked about before. Also, thank you for listening last week to not a Travolting episode, but a Fraser Zed or not a Robin for Robin episode. But actually, last week was Death to Smoochie. What am I talking about? I may sleep. But last week was Death to Smoochie. The week before that was Rental Family, but the week before that was 1 Hour Photo, because this is the third and final of what will be known as Robin's like evil triptych movies. Because after Bicentennial Man, Patch Adams, and all those, Robin goes into this wave where he's. Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay, you just want to bring the box? Okay, but so essentially, Robin is course correcting from the immediate failures from his Oscar win from Good Will Hunting. The catastrophic flops of like Patch Adams, which flopped critically, not box office wise. Jacob the Liar, which flopped in both senses of the word. And then Bicentennial Man, which also made some money but flopped critically. So Robin's course correcting, we've talked about this. He decides to go in a different direction where he decides, okay, people don't like my overtly sappy roles and overtly sappy
time to pivot
movies.
to the dark shit.
So now I'm gonna try and do something that people haven't seen from me do that often, which is I'm gonna be the bad guy, I'm go into some dark places. So 1 Hour Photo, we've talked about that with Savannah. That's a movie that he really dives deep into the character. Death to Smoochie, which while being a black comedy, he's still like accessing a very dark part of himself, like the rejected comic kind of vibe. Because I think I said that like Robin, there's too much Robin in Death to Smoochie. I almost feel like for as much as Robin is billed number one, it's really Edward Norton who's number one.
Yeah, Edward Norton's number one, and Robert Williams is in so much less of it than you expect.
He's in so much less of it, but he should have been in even less, in my opinion. Because I think there's a version of Death to Smoochie where Robin's in like not 2 scenes, but like 2 chunks of the movie, and that's it, in my view. But again, we've litigated that.
Yeah.
But then we go to Insomnia, and he plays a murderer.
Yes, he's playing a serial. Not even a serial killer. He killed one person.
Killed one person. A murderer. He's a murderer, a killer, and he's accessing a lot of the same stuff that he's accessed from 1 Hour Photo, but this one feels very unique and different to its own.
He's not playing any level of sympathy.
Yeah.
I mean, he is playing a certain level of sympathy, but he's playing objectively the villain of the movie.
He's playing a level of
emotional
manipulation.
Yeah.
Because 1 Hour Photo was genuine, like emotional things where it's like we felt
you
sorry. You
want to feel bad for this guy.
You want to feel bad for Cy. Insomnia, because it's such a POV heavy movie where we're in Detective Dormer, Al Pacino's shoes. There's a point in the movie where he's so good at sweet talking Al Pacino and therefore the audience that as Al Pacino kind of like, we're going to talk about the scene on the ferry. I think the scene on the ferry is so good. But like when Al Pacino shifts gears, he literally kisses the pole on the ferry and he just says, okay, so then what do you suppose we should do? Like the moment the movie kind of shifts ever so slightly, but it's a pivotal shift of the plot. Yeah. We kind of understand. But then you find out later that like Robin was just like manipulating this guy. Yeah. He's really good at it. But we bought into it just like Al Pacino bought into it. Because he's saying like, I didn't mean to kill her. It was an accident. You know about that. You accidentally killed your partner. And it's like, well, it was an accident. And yeah, I suppose we can't sympathize with that. So we, along with Al Pacino, sort of buy into that. And then Christopher Nolan, what he does beautifully is like through the dialogue of the character, like it's almost like when a bad guy doesn't know when to shut up.
Yeah.
And Robin Williams, who doesn't know when to shut up, starts to divulge more and more about it. And then it's like the reveal moment of like, oh no, this guy isn't like the same as Al Pacino. He took pleasure in killing somebody. Like he killed this girl.
Of important note is that this movie is a remake.
Yes.
It's a remake of a Scandinavian film by Eric Skilbarg.
Came out in 97.
Starring Stellan Skarsgård in this role.
Yep.
I would like to see that movie.
I would like to see that movie too.
But it is worth noting, as we're talking about like all the Nolan-y stuff in this is functionally a remake. He changes a lot, but it's a remake.
Yes.
Worthy of note.
Yeah,
but we can go back to Robin. I realized we hadn't mentioned that.
Yeah, it is a remake. You said it. It's like there are some noticeable differences, but it's essentially a remake.
Yeah.
So yeah, Robin, he's accessing a different part of himself that he's been doing for the past two movies. In this note, I feel like it's a very unique role. And then I also want to go into some historical context with Robin because this came out in 2002.
Yeah.
It was shot in 2001 in the spring, summer. Then 9/11 happens in September. What also happens in September 2001 is his mother, Lori, passes away. So now both of his parents are gone. And Robin at this point is sort of hit in this zone where, the country was just under attack. People are very afraid and scared. Robin has a lot of good ties with veterans and military. So he goes back into comedy and more of a stand-up role. He hadn't done stand-up for since I think the 80s was his last major big stand-up record. So in 2002, he does another Robin Williams Live on Broadway stand-up show, which does win a Grammy, though the reviews for the stand-up show were a little bit lukewarm because it's the Robin Williams at the Met, which I think that's the Grammy that he wins in '83. I still think that's his best stand-up show, womb to tomb. Weapons of Self-Destruction is kind of in the same vibe of 2002. Anyway. He also takes that comedy special as well as other material, goes on a bunch of USO tours to the Middle East. So Robin, at this point, he's doing different things in his Hollywood film career, but this is going to lay credence to why after this movie, because it's the question I think you and I are kind of both asking without saying it.
Yeah.
It's well, he was great at 1 Hour Photo. He got a lot of praise for that. Insomnia. A lot of people talked about Al Pacino's performance, but he wasn't left out of the conversation.
No, he's great.
So the question I think we're all asking is but then why does he go back to the happy family comedy movies? And I think part of the reason is because he's diving back into the comedic side of his life after 9/11, going on comedy tours.
He wants to bring humor into the world.
Yeah. So I think that's going. I lay all that groundwork down because when we cover The Roodles 2
next week,
next week, which I haven't seen, I don't know what his role is in that movie.
We're gonna cover House of D in a few weeks.
House of D. Is that one also a comedy? I don't.
Stuart, it's called House of D. It simply must be a comedy.
I can't even find it on IMDb.
It's not real. It's a fake movie.
Is it a fake movie?
No, it's a real movie. It exists.
You could have lied to me and I would have believed you. So yeah, all that to be said, a lot of stuff going on in Robin Williams' personal life. He's also kind of growing. He also turned 50 in 2001.
Yeah.
Which was a pivotal moment for him as well. He talks about that a lot in his comedy specials. So yeah, I guess that's where I'm at with Robin context. He's getting older. He's seeing the weaknesses of his career before his eyes. We entered into a dark time in the nation, so he wants to bring some comedy back in. But this is his last sort of I'll show them
his last
roles.
Functionally dramatic role for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's the most context I can say. I guess Final Cut's also.
Final Cut's a drama as well. I'm seeing this now. But that's a movie we'll talk about when we get to it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. But you're right. There are other dramatic roles, but I feel all the dramatic roles after Insomnia,
they're smaller
scale, and they don't necessarily come out to as good reception as his 1 Hour Photo in Insomnia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's really all I have to say in terms of
that's essentially the context for the movie.
Yeah, we talked about the context of the movie, talked about Christopher Nolan context, we talked about Al Pacino context. Do you have any Hilary Swank context?
No Hilary Swank context. The one little bit of context I'll say about this movie, there's a quote from Nolan about working with Robin Williams that I want to read real quick.
Yeah.
But first I'll say this movie is almost directed by Jonathan Demme. He of Silence of the Lambs fame. And he wanted Harrison Ford to play Will Dormer. And I can just imagine, I'm so tired, let me sleep.
That would have been
and I just wanted to say it. But Nolan said about working with Robin Williams, Nolan said, I think audiences will come away feeling like they've seen a new Robin Williams. Seeing Robin Williams doing something they never would have imagined that he could or would do. What I thought of Robin was, well, he was an extraordinary guy to work with, and he gave what I consider to be a flawless performance. I wound up watching the film hundreds of times as we cut it, and never hit the point with the performance where you start to see the acting. Most performances at a point, bits start to peel off in a way, but with Robin's, he was very much in that character. Not that he's a very dark person to work with. He's very lively and friendly and amusing. But he really found something within himself for the role. I think it's an underrated bit of work on his part.
And with that, I have a clip that I want to play that also speaks to that.
We thought it would be very unusual and different for Robin to play the part of a killer, as opposed to he's really against type, not what you think of with Robin Williams.
I don't know if you can actually define Robin Williams.
I feel like I could be Peter Lorre, except, I never meant to do those things with her, but it would have been difficult to play like that the whole time.
Robin loves to hang around on set and joke and make the whole crew laugh.
Today we look for the tiny fish near the log jam.
Whereas ours are a more interior sort of process.
Yeah, it's Mr. Method versus Mr. Anything. But you find a way, though. I mean, Chris will tell you.
Whatever their different, working styles are, and that's one of the incredible things to me about working with these great actors, is to just see them approach their tasks from completely different directions, and yet interact in the most wonderfully constructive way.
So he said something I want to touch on, which is actors that come from very different disciplines and backgrounds. Al Pacino's known for being a guy who wants to have a lot of rehearsals.
Yeah, wants to really work it out. He asks a lot of questions about like motivations and backstory. Like he wants to fully embody the character.
Yeah. Whereas Robin Williams is very much a figure it out as we go on the day kind of guy. Robin doesn't like to do a lot of rehearsals. He likes to roll on things. The thing we get, the pros and cons of those is like Robin is a guy who can easily go for like 8 to 12 takes. Yeah. Whereas Al Pacino, he likes to take a lot of time on the front end to figure out the character, can maybe do like 3-4 takes.
I have a friend who worked on a Pacino movie.
Uh-huh.
And this was like 3 or 4 years ago. Pacino in his 80s at the time. But he said the thing that was incredible about Al Pacino is he would come into the scene, he would have it all prepped, and you would do 4 takes. And in each of the 4 takes, he was giving you a completely different performance, and all of them were good.
Yeah.
And he just knocked them out.
Yep.
It was roll, did that, cut, roll, did a completely different performance.
Yeah. That's because, and like I said, it's because like he does so much work on the front end of it.
Yeah.
He asks a lot of questions. He's very inquisitive on the role. And whereas Robin's very much, he likes to show up and figure it out on the day kind of guy. And I think it's interesting because you think of all the actors Christopher Nolan has worked with, and I can't think of any other actor who, in my personal view, I would think would be completely opposite to the Christopher Nolan workflow. Except I think actually I might be completely wrong on that, because I think Nolan, at least in his early work, there's in the interview series I watched, it's too long to play it on the podcast, but like in the interview series I watched between him and Al Pacino asked like, so did you have like an idea of like how the blocking or the shot list was going to go when we shot it? It's like, no, not really. Like I shot list a lot of the action sequences, but in terms of like a lot of the other scenes and dialogues, I normally just have it in my head. It's really what you guys decide to do. Yeah. I let you guys figure out the scene, and then once you figure it out, as you're figuring out, I'm figuring out where I can put the camera to complement you guys the most. He talks about the scene where he has to call his dead partner's wife. He said, I decided I think the best angle for that movie is to put a camera on a 75 millimeter 2 inches from your face.
Yeah.
And just let that play over the whole scene. And Al Pacino's like, yeah, I thought that was interesting, because a lot of directors come in and they want to start with the wide, then come in closer, and then do some insert stuff. It's like, but no, it's like I walked in, you had the camera right in front of that desk. He's like, yeah, because like when you're that close, it feels more intimate and honest, and we can see more of like how you're feeling. So all that to be said, I have no basis for this other than my own personal intuition that I almost feel like an actor like Robin would work well with Nolan. Yeah. Or maybe be the opposite. I don't know.
They seem to have had a very good relationship in this way. Do you remember the Robin Williams Riddler rumors?
I heard a little bit about this.
This was like immediately after The Dark Knight, when it's like, they're going to make another one. Mm-hmm. Who's it going to be? And everyone's like, he has to do the Riddler. Who's going to play the Riddler? And I remember it was like, the one that like the most people were talking about was the Robin Williams playing the Riddler rumor, which would have been crazy.
I thought there was a rumor of Jack Nicholson playing the Riddler.
There was Johnny Depp playing the Riddler.
Ooh.
What if they just brought Jack Nicholson back as the Joker?
Well,
in
no,
Dark Knight Rises?
no. I genuinely remember hearing a rumor of Dark Knight Rises that they were going to do a Jack Nicholson Riddler cameo when like an Arkham Asylum thing, like they did in the Matt Reeves Batman, but it'd be like a nod wink to like, hey, this guy's the Riddler in our universe, but he's the Joker in the other Batman universe.
It's me. Nolan would never do something.
He would never
like that.
do something like that, but it was a funny rumor.
Yeah.
But the only reason I go onto that little tangent is because like at least early Nolan feels like he gets
He's improvisational.
I would say he's improvisational based on whatever material the actors give him.
And he likes to work very fast.
And that never changed. That's never changed.
I know he refuses to allow a video village.
Yep.
He
has mini monitors in his hands.
They just get on the set. He works with the actors. They start shooting, and they're just endlessly shooting.
He still, from what I understand, has his no chairs policy on set.
The Odyssey wrapped 10 days ahead of schedule.
Yep.
And shot the most film any movie has ever shot on film.
Yep.
It was like 2 million feet of film or something like that.
Yeah,
and they wrapped a week ahead of schedule.
And I think Nolan, as him getting this like we're going back into Nolan. Remember when we did Pulp Fiction? I did like the gimmick of like whenever we talk about a film bro-y thing with Tarantino, Pulp Fiction, we get a ding. Yeah. We should do the same thing for Nolan.
No, I have one final thing to say at the context of this movie, and then we can get into the plot.
Well, I wanted to spin one more thing on the Robin Nolan dichotomy because I think it could go either way. I think Robin being improvisational and Nolan being improvisational could be good for each other. But I feel like early Nolan, he is improvisational based on the material the actors give him. Yeah. Al Pacino's a very giving actor, whereas I feel like Robin thrives off of improvisational based on whatever material the directors give him. So when you have, it's like what's the saying about the
opposites attract?
Opposites attract. It's like the opposite of that. It's like they're the same magnets that repel each other because it's like, so Robin, what did you have in mind for the scene? I don't know. I was just going to wing it based on whatever you told me. What did you have in mind for the scene? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. I could go either way, but I mean, if I'm being optimistic, I would think they worked well together.
No, it seems like they did. They worked very well together. And it's a shame they never worked together again.
Yeah. And you had one more final thing before we
final thing. This movie is it's set in Nightmute, Alaska, which is a real place.
Really?
It's not the place that actually has like the
Polar Night thing.
The Polar Night thing is a real place. But they shot this movie in Squamish, British Columbia, which is an hour north of Vancouver, and I was there 2 years ago.
Oh, nice.
I did not realize this until halfway through the movie when I was like, this looks very familiar to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I've been in this town. It is a lovely place.
Is it as like small, janky as it looks like?
It's an hour north of Vancouver. It's a small little town.
Yeah.
We went up there to do kayaking, and the wind was just so bad we had to abandon the kayaking like an hour in.
There is a false piece of trivia on the Insomnia page that I feel like is important to correct. There's a trivia beat that in Insomnia that says this is the movie where Robin fell off the wagon and got back into his alcoholism. It is actually incorrect. There was a different Alaska movie that he was in that made him go back to drinking. So if anybody looks up the IMDb trivia of Insomnia and you see that piece of trivia, oh, nice. That looks very pretty.
I'm showing
pictures of them kayaking.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. I would love to go to Canada. I would love to go to Canada. Looks.
This is the mountain from the movie.
Oh, that's great. But yeah, it'd be a different movie. But yeah, most of this is shot in, like you said, British Columbia in Canada. They did some B-roll plane shots of Alaska for like the opening of the movie, but otherwise the majority of it's filmed in I almost said Chicago, British Columbia, Canada. So plot mode.
Canada.
I didn't know that. I just you're telling me now for the first time.
So movie starts.
Yes,
we're on a plane.
Flying through the beautiful Alaskan wilderness, or the beautiful British Columbian wilderness.
And one of the agents steps over and he says, "Hey, this guy knows where Bane is." Sorry,
who is he? Why is he wearing the mask?
A lot of faith for a guy. It's like
just wondering why someone would shoot a man before throwing him out of the plane. You're a big guy for you.
Is this all a part of your plan? What's the next part of your grand plan?
That is one of my favorite.
This plane.
That is one of my favorite. Like, maybe one of the only directorial whiffs in Nolan's career is that he fucks up the delivery of those lines. where what is trying to be said is Bane is saying Aidan Gillen is like, what happens if I pull the mask off? Bane says, it would be very painful. And then he says, you're a big guy for you. He's saying it would be very painful for you.
Right.
But as you watch the movie, it sounds like he's saying
for big guy for you.
I'm a big guy in comparison to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it makes the line so much goofier.
You would think it's like that would be an editing thing they would catch and be like, oh, well, let's just cut out the you're a big guy.
Or like you can still keep the big. You can still use the big guy, but I don't know how exactly you fix it. But it is like the one thing I'm like, the intention of the line there gets missed.
Yeah.
You're bigger for you. It's very funny. But they're on a plane.
They're on a plane.
Al Pacino and Martin Donovan.
Yes.
It's funny. Nolan reuses his actors a lot. Most of his actors pop up in his movies a lot. Like he's on his third Matt Damon now with The Odyssey.
Yep.
Cillian Murphy is in I think 5 or 6 of them. Yep. Michael Caine is in most of them. He's using Kenneth Branagh a lot now. He reuses his actors a lot.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me that basically nobody from this movie carries over. Yeah. With the one exception. Martin Donovan is in Tenet. He's the one guy who's in this movie who pops up in something else.
Yeah.
But like he never works with Pacino or Robin or Hilary Swank again.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what that's about. I mean, Robin's dead. So
I'm sure there's nothing to it like they didn't get along or anything like that.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's just like they weren't in the right role.
Yeah.
But it is interesting to me that Martin Donovan's the one guy who made it into the Nolan players.
Yeah. Yeah. But they're on a plane and
Al Pacino is waking up looking the most tired anybody has ever looked in their life. Look at this shit. Like, I was taking pictures like I'm at a fucking concert watching this.
Look
at that.
Oh my God. I'm so tired. I'm so tired.
They land at the town. What's it called again?
Night Mute.
Night Mute. What a good name for a town.
It's a great name.
Night Mute. And they get picked up by Hilary Swank, who is the the Jodie Foster in Silence of the Lambs role, just like the very bushy-tailed detective who wants to learn from the veterans.
Yes. Dr. Lecter.
Dr. Lecter.
Dr. Lecter.
Detective Dormer.
Detective Dormer.
But
Hilary Swank great in this movie.
Yeah, she's good. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have much else to say. But she picks him up and she's like, she delivers the hand over fist. It's like, oh, Detective Dormer, I don't know why I'm going to a Jodie Foster accent. She talks normally, but
she talks normally and dresses crazily. The amount of times that Hilary Swank, and I don't know what it's actually like, but she's wearing like a t-shirt in like the frozen Alaskan wastes.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and she immediately says like, hey, Detective Dormer, I'm a huge fan. I did my paper on one of your cases when I was in the academy. And he's like, if you like, I could take you to your hotel. We'll go straight to the station. And he's like, oh, you're right, because the cases get solved usually in the first 72 hours. It's like 48. We're a day behind. So we know they're on a case. They get to the police station. They meet with the chief of police over there. Paul Dooley plays Chief Nyback.
Yes.
And they meet the lead detective. That's one of the guys. I don't know. There's a lot of people.
There's a lot of cops.
A lot of cops. And he's like, I like to see the body. So
I
basically,
see the body.
I mean, the thing is, Jeff, is like, in terms of the plot, we could probably get through this in like 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, the plot is like, it's pretty straightforward. It's a cop movie.
It's a whodunit, and then it's a why done it. That's all it is. There's a murder
I
in
went
this
to
town
go
in
see
Alaska.
Wake Up Dead Man on Friday, the new Benoit Blanc movie.
Yeah.
And that's one of them, like, I am continually impressed because you said the words whodunit, so I just wanted to shout this out.
Yeah.
Knives Out is a very fun twist in the whodunit because you find out who did it 20 minutes in, and it's a movie about like her trying to get away while the detective who you're ostensibly rooting for is chasing after her.
Yeah.
And then Glass Onion, like, he continually finds a way to reframe the concept of the whodunit.
Yeah.
You watch Glass Onion, that's a movie where, like, you spend the first half of the movie being like, why is Benoit Blanc so stupid during this movie? Why is he not figuring any of this out? And then halfway through, you're like, no, he's been figuring it out the whole time. We just cut away from those scenes.
Yeah.
And you get the whole second movie for the second act.
Yeah.
Wake Up Dead Man is a movie that finds the most interesting use of narration I've seen in a movie.
Voiceover?
In a little bit. Well, voiceover.
Okay.
Because I was like, why is it so hacky? Why are we having this guy voiceover so much of the movie? And then you realize why he's doing the voiceover, and it is so fascinating. And it's such an interesting usage of filmmaking tools.
Holds up with Knives Out, Glass Onion.
Yeah, and it's a whodunit about like maybe why not? Maybe don't figure it out. It's a movie about religion. You'd like it.
Okay.
It's quite good.
Yeah, movie about religion. I'd like it.
You'd like it.
Yeah. But yeah, so in this movie, a 17-year-old girl was murdered, and Kay Connell's her name, played by Crystal Lowe. And they find out, so she was beaten, and she was just beaten to death, right?
She was beaten to death.
Just beaten to death. She wasn't sexually assaulted, and they find that the killer then cleaned her up meticulously, trimmed her fingernails, washed her hair, washed her skin, and then wrapped her up in a garbage bag and dumped her at the local, junkyard dump. So case becomes, okay, who done it? Who killed this girl? Al Pacino remarks like, I just want to say like I miss the classic, like, that's why I need to go see what's it called?
Wake Up Dead
Man. Because I really miss the feature length cop movies.
It's so satisfying watching a good movie star play a cop.
Yeah.
And just like explain how the crime occurred.
Yeah.
He's just like, hey, you didn't notice that fingernails were clipped.
Yeah.
He cared about it. He took a time.
Yeah.
He wasn't afraid.
He wasn't afraid. This guy killed
just throws such interesting pronunciations onto things.
Yeah.
Whereas he wasn't afraid.
It's just like his like,
because she got a great ass and you got your head all the way up it.
Yeah. Yeah. So because
Hooah. Dunkachino.
What's my name? Dunkachino.
Burn this.
Burn this.
And so he remarks that this guy is cold and he will murder again because this guy killed somebody and he didn't freak out. He didn't chop up the body. He didn't burn her. He meticulously took his time and cleaned her up and then dumped her. So they talk to the boyfriend, and the boyfriend
sucks.
Boyfriend sucks, but he's not a killer.
Yeah.
And the movie does a really good job of painting that narrative to you.
Yes.
Of like, I see why this guy would be
that
suspect.
he's genuinely an abusive boyfriend.
Yeah, but he's not a killer.
Yes.
It's like he could very easily be this guy, but we just know that like this guy sucks, but he's not a killer. And so Al Pacino kind of figures that out really quickly. He's like, yeah, this guy sucks, but he ain't no killer. So then they go to her bedroom. They find out like she had this admirer who's been buying her jewelry and dresses, and it's like the boyfriend ain't affording this, and her mom ain't affording this, so who's buying her all this stuff? And then he says something. The delivery of this next line is really good because he's like, "Where's the boyfriend? I want to go talk to him. He's at school." It's like, do we want us to like pull him over to the station? It's like, no. I'm going to go straight to the school, catch him off guard, and they all chuckle at him. They're like, "What's so funny?" It's like, detective, it's 10 p.m.
Yeah.
The sun is bright outside, and Al Pacino, really great, is just like, okay. Okay. So because you could tell he's not tired.
Yeah. Not yet.
Jeff, you and I worked.
Stuart, not yet.
Not yet. Not yet. I want to say, Jeff, you and I worked on a similar vibe of this movie.
Yeah, we were living overnights.
But it was all nighttime.
Yeah.
But it was a very similar cat and mouse kind of movie in that way. And I thought it was very interesting watching the polar opposite version of that in this movie. How like, you're working regular hours during the day, but like the sheer exhaustion you feel. Because like the actors on the movie we worked with, you could see the exhaustion, but it was genuine exhaustion.
Yeah.
It was genuine exhaustion. Al Pacino had to play exhaustion in this movie. I just thought that was interesting.
I mean, he's 62. He's doing some action scenes in this. Probably a little sleepy,
but like he's getting his turnaround.
Yeah.
He's they're doing regular.
No force calls for Al Pacino, please.
No force calls for Al Pacino. No, they're probably doing regular like 6, 7 a.m. calls. I mean, at British Columbia, and they shot this in the spring, summer. They're probably getting like 10 hours of daylight.
Yeah.
Because even in the height of the summer, like I think Chicago in the summer, we get like
12 to 14.
12 to 14 at the height.
Yeah.
And at its minimum, we get like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Ooh,
We're at that minimum now.
We're at that minimum now. Where
the sun sets at fucking 4:20 p.m.
Yeah, and then it doesn't rise until like 8 o'clock.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. But I feel like the further north you go, the more drastic that gets. So at this point, they're filming spring, summer. They're probably getting like 10, 12 hours a day.
In theory, the further north you get, wouldn't the day become longer?
I think you're right, actually.
Yeah, I think I'm schooling your ass right now.
Well, easy. Relax. Yeah, so
regardless, they had to film this in the sun.
Yeah,
like the sun in the sunset.
The entire movie is daylight dependent, basically, besides the interior scenes. And so he remarked, and they go to their lodge, their hotel. We meet one of the hotel ladies. She's somebody I've seen in movies before. Maura Tierney, is that her name?
Maura Tierney, yes.
Yes. I've seen her in other stuff.
Yeah, she's a very successful actress. She pops up in a lot of stuff.
She's like the person in charge, and he's like, "Your kitchen open?" And he's like, "Yeah, but they close in like 30 minutes." Like, "We'll be quick." And so they go sit down to the diner, and this is where we get the first like little bit of backstory context into their relationship. So Martin Donovan, Al Pacino's partner, Detective Eckert, tells him, "Hey, so
I'm making a deal.
I'm gonna be making a deal with the internal affairs guy." I'm like, "You're gonna what?" He's like, "Yeah, I got a wife and kids, dude."
Yeah.
He's like, it's like, "But you got nothing to worry about because you're clean."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, but they're gonna start digging into all my cases," and it's very clear. And at this point, I don't remember much of the movie, so I'm thinking at this point, it's like, what? Clearly, he does have something to hide. If we're spending this much time in the movie being like, "But you're clean, Detective Dormer, so you have nothing to worry about," and Al Pacino's playing it like, "Oh fuck," and it's like, okay, well, clearly he does have something to hide that we'll find out about later. We get a few cutaways into other shots and things that don't give us we won't get context to until the end of the movie, so I'll leave that there. But and he's like, "Fuck you," basically.
Mm-hmm.
So
he marches off to his room and doesn't sleep.
He marches off to his room and doesn't sleep
because he's tired and full of guilt.
I feel like most lodges in like Canada and Alaska have got to have like full blackout curtains for this reason.
Oh yeah, you probably would,
right? But they have like a flimsy.
But this specific room doesn't.
This specific room doesn't.
Yeah.
It has like a flimsy blind that doesn't really cover out.
Well, because
the sun.
the movie doesn't work if he has blackout curtains. If he's blackout curtains, he pulls,
well, look, going back,
he gets a very nice night of sleep.
Going back to like our, the movie we worked on that was all nights. Like I had to really like black out my room to get some sleep during the day.
Yeah,
because that was really hard. It was hard. It's hard to really shift your schedule to like be awake at night and then try to sleep during the day. It really fucked up, your natural rhythm.
Very weird vibe.
Yeah. So like for him, he can't sleep because the sun's still pouring into his room. Yeah. So he shows up the next day a little bit tired.
He's a little
This
tired.
is stage 1 tired.
I'm saying this is stage 1 tired.
Stage 1 tired.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm a little tired today.
And the thing of note for this movie, I think this movie really captures a visceral like tiredness. I said this in the beginning, but
yes, it does.
It captures a visceral sense of being tired through the filmmaking and Pacino's performance that I really haven't seen another movie attempt to do, let alone do. Like you watch this, like I genuinely felt tired watching this movie, and not because like I hadn't gotten sleep or was actually tired, but just like like the sequences were like Pacino's vision is just going blurry and like the camera's going out of focus.
Yeah.
And you're just so tight with him. And
quick,
like,
rapid
you're
cutaways.
kind of quickly cutting between spots.
Yeah.
I really do feel that like the sense of exhaustion. As someone who we work in an industry where you do get quite exhausted. I really felt the visceral sense of his exhaustion in this.
Yeah, same.
The major commendations to Nolan for that.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I felt like I saw a lot of memento, the filmmaking techniques in this movie that he'll also deploy into his other movies, added on to the confidence he's going to get as a filmmaker. But I still felt that like groundedness that we know about Nolan in his movie in terms of his technique and style. Really good. So I'm trying to think. They talk to the boyfriend. Boyfriend's a piece of shit. They talk to the best friend.
He talks to the best friend.
Oh, that's later in the movie after the funeral. When do they find the bag?
Well, some random cop finds the bag, and they search the bag, and they put the bag back.
And it's the girl's bag.
It's the girl's bag. They find out it's more or less where her bag wound up.
Yeah.
So they find the bag. They search the bag. They find a detective novel in it and a diary.
Yeah.
This is the diary of Laura Palmer. And they put the bag back and then put out a call. We're looking for the bag.
Because Al Pacino
He's like, hey, he's gonna come get the bag.
Yeah, he has this idea. It's like, well, if we put the bag back where we found it, but we put out a statement of like, hey, we think the bag that she had might have some trace evidence. We're looking for it. It'll freak out the killer, and he'll go back to the spot to find the bag. He'll think he left something. And Al Pacino's like, actually, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. This seems a little sketch. Will this hold up in court? And they're like, dude, yeah, no, it's going to be a great idea. So they do that. They go to this shack, which is like over a river, and they're staking out. And then they see a guy in a trench coat, played by Bruce Willis in Invincible.
Yeah, it's the Overseer.
It's the Overseer look.
I cannot believe his superhero name is the Overseer.
Yeah. And so, yes, but it's a guy
casting a very distinctive Robin Williams-esque silhouette.
Yeah, I mean, like, the thing about it too is like, I don't know how this movie was marketed. I don't know how this movie was advertised.
Robin Williams on the poster,
but it's Robin Williams on the poster, and I feel like it's pretty well clear going into it that you know who.
Yeah, you know he's gonna be the killer.
Yeah, you know he's gonna be a killer. So that part's not really a mystery in the movie.
Yeah.
But we see a guy in an overcoat. We don't see his face, and then Al Pacino's like, "Oh, there he is. There he is." He gets handed
fucking megaphone.
Fucks up, and now we're on the run.
Yeah.
So they chase him.
The guy runs into the shack. They chase him into the shack. There's a secret tunnel under the shack. He sends all the boys around the other side of the shack. I just like saying shack. While Pacino goes through the tunnel leads to a beach, which is extremely foggy.
Yes. And he's with one of the cops, and they're scouting around. And
it looks like the mist from The Mist.
Yes, it does. It's very misty.
Yeah.
How do you think they did that? Fog machines?
A lot of fog machines.
Maybe.
Yeah, you probably just need a lot of fog machines.
Yeah. Because I'm trying to think, like, I've only been on like one set that's like had to like really make the entire world foggy, and it's like it's a weird. It was for this one I was on as a World War I battle, and they have these like makeshift lawnmowers, and it's basically like you put like re-rig these lawnmowers, like the push lawnmowers, and it just blows out a massive amount of smoke. Don't know how healthy it was. Don't ask me, but they essentially had like 6 of them that they would like and a line and then just go across the fucking battlefield, and it would big up.
I mean, you probably just got a lot of like big tubes with smoke, with steam.
Yeah.
And then you just like, honestly, you don't have to fog up a lot of the space because, you know, you're in such a narrow view.
Yeah.
So you just have to fog up like 50 feet at a time.
Yeah. I just like, it's impressive because it looks really good. And so he's with this other cop, and then they're scouting around, and then
the other cop gets shot.
The other cop gets shot by Robin.
By Robin Williams. Robin Williams shoots him.
And this is good because now it's establishing to us like, oh no, this guy's armed.
He's ready to kill again.
He's ready to kill again. So Al Pacino, like, he says, "Are you good? You good?" And then he splits off from the cop. Now he's by himself.
Yeah.
In the beach.
He sees Robin again. He chases after him. Then sees another figure in the distance. The other figure raises a gun.
And he pulls his
and
gun.
Robin pulls his gun, or
Al Pacino
pulls his gun and shoots him. He runs over, and it is Martin Donovan.
It's his partner.
Eckert. And all Eckert says is, "You shot me.
Get away from me.
Get away from me," and then dies.
Yep.
And now he thinks like, and Pacino's like, "Oh my God." And
like, clearly an accident.
Yes.
Clearly an accident.
It is very clear an accident, in spite of what Pacino says later in the movie. Like, even he feels guilt that it might not have been an accident, but it's an accident.
But it's an accident. Yeah. And he
snaps right into dirty cop mode.
Interesting that's your read.
He starts covering it up.
Because my thinking is like, Al Pacino does so much with so little in this moment of time that I'm thinking like, you have a choice here. You could either say man down and explain right away what happened. That it was an accident, but it's going to turn into a whole big thing. It's also the fact that this guy's being investigated with internal affairs, and if he winds up dead and they know that I shot him on accident, they're going to ask if it was really an accident. Like, there's like, it's like paragraphs of thought is going through his mind at milliseconds of speed. And so then he makes a call, man down, brings the cops over. We don't hear what he says to the cops, but we cut to later a bit like, hey, so we're so sorry about your partner. We're going to get the son of a bitch who did this. And I'm going to put Hilary Swank on this case just to write up the report as a paperwork formality.
To be clear, not the character she's playing. There's actual Hilary Swank in the motion picture, and she's on the case.
Correct.
Weirdly, they put Academy Award nominated actress Hilary Swank.
Hilary Swank, yeah. And so and again, Hilary Swank being the goody two shoes, bushy tail cop. She's like, yeah, Detective Dormer, I'm gonna solve this
Dr.
case.
Lecter.
I'm so sorry about your partner, and I hate to make you ask you questions about it. I know it's a touchy subject, so I'll just make this quick so we can continue on with the real case. So yeah, she's on the case of his dead partner. Al Pacino is making the cover-up claim that they were in the fog. The first cop that got shot, he was with, and then he split off, and then he ran down to the beach. He heard a second shot, ran over, saw his partner, shot and dead.
He's like, yeah, I think it came from that direction.
There's a great scene where he calls his partner's wife.
Yeah.
It's played by that one close-up angle on Al Pacino. And Al Pacino is playing this phone call very, very well, of that like guilty look of expression while also being very reassuring.
Yeah.
He's in like, did he suffer?
He's doing a very fine balancing act where the scene is objectively about Pacino telling her that her husband's dead.
Yeah.
But the scene's really about Pacino processing his grief.
Yeah.
It's a great little sequence.
Great little scene. And this is where the insomnia really kicks in.
Oh,
Because he goes back to the lodge, and they lost the bad guy, by the way. He was able to escape.
Robin got away.
Yeah. And so he goes back to the lodge. Maura Tierney's there, and she's like, oh my God, I saw this guy yesterday. I'm so sorry. And he's like, yeah. She gets a call. She's like, it's for you. It's the internal affairs guy. And he's like, interesting that your partner that I was investigating just wound up dead in Alaska, isn't it? And he's like, why don't you say what you want to say? Say what you want to say. And he's like,
say what you need
I don't know. I'm going to be really interested to see what the ballistics report's going to come back as.
Yeah.
Because
I think this is a smidge heavy-handed.
Yeah, it is.
The internal affairs guy
would
almost assuredly not immediately assume you killed your partner to cover up whatever I'm investigating you for.
Yeah.
It's a little much, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think you need that scene. You understand already the stakes of what Pacino is going through. You don't need like the sniveling bureaucrat cop to call and just say that.
Yeah, it is a little heavy-handed. So then Al Pacino goes back to his room, and he's like panicking, freaking out, not able to he's washing the blood off of his shirt. Yeah. And at some point then he picked up the gun. 38 caliber.
He picked up the bad guy's gun.
The bad guy's gun, which was used to shoot the other cop.
Yeah.
The gun that Al Pacino used to shoot his partner on accident was his backup pistol, which is his Walter 9mm. This will come in play later.
This will be important.
So then they weren't able to find the bullet that killed, or that shot went through the guy's leg.
No, they find that one, but they don't find the bullet that killed Hap.
I thought they did.
No, you're right. They find both.
They find the
bullet. What they don't find is the third bullet, the JFK bullet.
Right, because they find the bullet that went through the cop's leg, and they discovered that that's a 38 caliber.
And then they pull the gun out of Hap, and they're gonna send it off for testing.
Right.
And Pacino realizes that he's going to be incriminated if that happens.
Because they're going to find out that that's a bullet that matches his backup
So he had
gun.
stumbled across a dead dog carcass earlier in the movie.
This is a beautiful imagery scene. That I want to know what they did, if they just filmed this in like a desolate
this
town.
nice little alleyway.
Well, it's because he is out in quote unquote the middle of the night.
Yeah.
But it's daylight.
Yeah.
But it's like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's very good.
It's so good. So it's like a zombie town
It's
because
very
there's
cool.
nobody's out there. So he's out there walking around. He goes in this alley. He vomits.
Yeah.
Because he's like riddled with guilt.
And he finds a dead dog.
He finds a dead dog.
And then he later comes back with the 38 caliber from the bad guy, shoots the dog, pulls the bullet out, and then swaps that bullet with the one.
Yeah, he goes to the morgue where the coroner is doing the report, and he's like, did you find a bullet? It's like, yeah, but I don't know what it is, so I'm just going to send it back to Anchorage for testing. He's like, okay, I'll take this.
And then what I like that happens in this next scene when he hands the bullets off is Hilary Swank comes over and is like, hey, would you sign the report of what happened? And he tells her,
make sure
all your facts are correct before you submit this.
Because your name is on this report.
Your name is on this report. And
Thing is, his name's also on the report as a supervising officer.
I think he is, because he doesn't sign it. Because he's telling her, make sure all the facts are correct before I sign this. Your name's on the report. And I do think it's subconsciously him trying to get caught.
Yeah.
Because much like Robin is subconsciously trying to get caught in this movie, he wants to meet the cop.
Interesting.
Robin's trying to be found out.
Interesting. Really?
Yeah, I do think so.
Why?
I don't think like he wants to get arrested necessarily, but Robin wants to like be in the game.
He wants to write his next novel.
Yes.
And he wants to. He's the kind of killer. No, you're okay.
Robin's not like trying to just like get away clean.
No. There is a category of like murderers and killers who like to be as close to the investigation as possible because it makes them relive.
Yeah, it's
the
Seven
thrill
thing.
It's the thrill. It's the excitement of being like
and
engrossed.
Much
in
like
the
Robin wants to like be involved.
Yeah.
Pacino also kind of wants to get caught for what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm doing a bad thing. You shouldn't be like me. Check your report. Which does eventually
the bullet swap.
He does the bullet swap. This does ultimately lead to Hilary Swank catching him.
Yes. So, and he sends the bullet out, and they find out, hey, the bullet that was in the guy's leg was a 38 caliber. We're gonna test the bullet that was in your partner's corpse and see if that was a 38 caliber. He's like, okay. So then, the next thing I remember is he starts getting phone calls.
It's basically like, we can kind of summarize this quick. Like, he goes to the funeral for the girl Kay.
Yeah.
Basically kidnaps her best friend.
Yeah.
And gets her best friend to confess that there's another guy in the picture besides the boyfriend. Yeah. There's like an older guy.
They call Brody.
They call Brody. And then he is looking through the evidence again, and he notices that
a book
called like, A Brody Adventure by Walter Finch.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, So he goes to Walter Finch's apartment, like 20 miles north.
Yeah, he looks up a phone book.
Yeah,
and he opens. Remember Yellow Pages?
Yeah,
he opens up a Yellow Pages, finds Walter Finch's name, finds his apartment, goes to his apartment. But we shan't forget though that earlier in the movie, before he even knows about this Walter Finch guy, he's at his hotel, and he's having trouble going to sleep.
Yeah,
and
he gets a phone
rings,
call from Robin,
and it's clearly Robin Williams' voice.
He picks up and he's like, Alibaba had them 40 thieves.
You heard his voice and you were like, oh yeah, this is Robin.
Yeah, no, it's very clear.
It's very clearly Robin. And he does the whole fucking like the phone calls coming from inside the house vibe of just like, so you're having trouble sleeping too, huh? He's like, who is this? And he's like, when I moved to Alaska, I think I went like 5 days without sleeping. It was crazy. How's it going for you? Having trouble sleeping? That daylight just fucks with you, right? He's like, who am I talking to here? And he's like,
who is this?
And he just says like, just know you and I. He does like, we're not so different, you and I, kind of like the dialogue, and then hangs up the phone.
Yeah.
Okay, so now cut to Adrian. He almost said Adrian Brody. the something Brody adventure. Walter Finch. He goes to the town. Goes to Walter Finch's apartment.
Meets the dogs.
Yeah. And
important note.
And he finds some other books with his name on it. They're all detective novels. And then
he hides the gun in there.
After...
Oh, he comes back and he hides the gun.
He comes back because... Does he get the phone call? No, he doesn't get a call from the apartment yet. That's later.
Finch comes back. And Al Pacino's like, shit. And Finch finds out that Pacino's in there.
Yeah.
Pacino chases Robin. He chases him through the town. Then he chases him to a logging area. And then like more or less like the quote unquote big set piece of the movie happens, which is
Robin run across skipping across logs.
They Frogger style run across some logs.
Yeah. But Al Pacino slips and falls into
frozen water.
And he can't get out because of the logs. They're drowning him. And so he finally gets out on the other side. He turns around, sees Robin on the other side of the river, escaping yet again.
He's gotten away.
So he goes back to Finch's apartment.
The log scene has such video game energy.
It does.
And I say this not as an insult.
Yeah.
But it's like, you got to run across the logs and time it well, or you're gonna miss the point. And Pacino he presses A too early, and he's like,
Yeah, it is very video game energy. And it is funny that really is the biggest set piece, besides the last final shootout.
Yeah.
But this is like the biggest like stunt set piece.
And so Pacino goes back to Finch's apartment, hides the gun in there,
in like a little vent by the floor, and then the phone rings, and it's Robin Williams again. He says, "Hey, so." Maybe we should meet and talk about this. Don't be stupid. And he's like, I saw you kill your partner.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? And he's like, yeah, I saw you kill your partner. So I know you're trying to pin it on me. And he's like, by the way, I love this line. He's like, before you leave, can you feed the dogs or on a diet? Like, just a very casualness. Very good. So he hangs up the phone and they meet up. Yeah. So they meet up at a ferry. Right, I'm not skipping anything on this.
No, yeah, they meet up at a fair. There's like some random business.
Yeah, but I was to say like this movie's so easy to kind of summarize. Like
Yeah.
We're doing a lot of work to extend the summary of this movie.
No, they have a meeting on a ferry.
Yeah.
Pacino has the best line in the movie.
Yes. What's the line, Jeff?
I'm gonna lock in. You're as mysterious to me as a block toilet is to a fucking plumber.
because like, in the scene, it's essentially Robin basically pleading for his life, but
It's like-
playing it off as a way of like, I have a one up on you.
It's the Pacino De Niro diner scene from Heat. It's
Yes.
the Joker Batman
Yes.
interrogation room scene.
Yes.
Except it is set on a ferry.
And it's Robin.
And it's Robin
Al-
Williams and Pacino.
Yeah. And he's basically saying, hey, I know you killed your partner. I know it's because there's an internal affairs investigation happening.
Yeah.
Even if it was an accident, which it looks like an accident, you can't deny that it's going to look suspicious that
gonna
you
look
killed
bad.
your partner. And at this point, Al Pacino's doing a great job. He's like pressing his forehead up against like a pole.
Yeah.
Like you can see he's like really tormented and
about it.
twisted. He's thinking about it. And he then also says, and listen, I killed Kay, but it was an accident. I truly did not mean to kill her. You know what that's like when it's an accident. You know I'm not a bad guy. We can work this out where we both, get out of this. He's like, I can take care of most of the stuff. I'm just gonna need your help. And then Al Pacino's like, what did you have in mind? And that's where like the little bit, like the shift of the character comes into play. It's like, because at this point, Al Pacino's gone like 3 days without sleep.
Yeah.
He's
cooked.
very tired. He's so
cooked.
cooked. He looks cooked. And we feel cooked with Pacino.
Yes.
So when Robin's doing this whole fucking monologue spiel,
It's exhausting.
we, the audience, are exhausted with Pacino to the point where we're also kind of in the same headspace of, okay, fine.
Yeah, whatever.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of like all right, you're right. I believe you.
Yeah, sure.
You're a fine guy.
We'll do the scheme, whatever.
Yeah. Which is like, that speaks to Nolan.
Yeah.
That speaks to Nolan's direction and his style. That like we, the audience, are kind of in lockstep. It's still a little jarring because you're like, oh my God, this cop's actually going to negotiate
along
with
with
the
it.
killer. But Pacino then says like, let's not fool anybody around here. Like, you're nothing special here, buddy.
Yeah.
You are my job.
Yeah.
You are no more special to me than
a block toilet
than a
is to
block
a
toilet
fucking
is to
plumber.
a fucking plumber, which is a great line.
It's a fun line that is delivered with such aplomb by Al Pacino. He is milking every syllable.
Yeah. And so they get off. Robin says, "This is my stop," and he gets off and he says, by
the way, I have a wild
Detective
card.
Dormer. It's like, you got to remember, you got to have a wild card." And he pulls out a tape recorder.
You record the whole conversation.
Record a little conversation, which
now
doesn't
Pacino's-
seem to phase Pacino, right?
But now Pacino's basically like stuck into actually doing the scheme.
Right. But
Because now he's like,
in his performance, though, I felt like that didn't really make much of a difference to
it
him.
doesn't seem much to phase him because he's already like kind of given up.
Yeah. But now he's got the tape recorder,
Yeah.
which is added bonus to be like, yeah, you're going to do what I say.
So Finch comes to the police station. He delivers false testimony in agreement to kind of like pin it on Randy.
They have the ballistics report that shows that it's that the same bullet that went through the cop's gun, the leg, was the same gun that killed his partner, a .38 caliber. So then Al Pacino comes in and they're like, yeah, so we should check out this Walter Finch guy. There's a book in her bag, and it looked like maybe there's some notes.
Hilary Swank has this idea.
Yes.
To investigate Walter Finch. And then they call Walter Finch. He's like, yeah, I'll come in. So he comes in.
And Al and Robin have this dialogue where he says, like, I should pin it on the boyfriend. He's like, no. Don't come off so strong to pin it on the boyfriend. It's going to look like you're like handing it to them. You got to let them figure it out first. Because
And then Robin shows up and pins it on the boyfriend.
right, because Al Pacino's doing the smart thing here as the dirty cop. He says, hey, come in and be very forthcoming about your relationship, because they're going to find out either way. And if you come in and lie about the relationship, then it makes you look more suspicious. So come forward and just be very open that you had a relationship with her, wasn't sexual. You guys, she was like, a student, you were the mentor, but don't come off hot on the boyfriend.
Yeah.
Because if you do that, it's going to look more suspicious on you because you're pushing a suspect for them to chew on. Robin comes in
He's
and he
hot
does
on the
exactly
boyfriend.
that. He comes
And
in.
Pacino gets pissed at him.
Yeah, well, he gets really pissed at him. Robin gives this whole testimony at the police station. He says, yeah, I had a relationship with her. She was like a student. I was her mentor. I offered her things that she couldn't get from other people. We had a good relationship. And I don't know if this means anything, but the boyfriend.
Yeah.
And he comes off really hot. It was like, he was an abusive piece of shit, blah, 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 blah. And Al Pacino almost kind of like tells him to like shut up and stop. I'm trying to think of the exact phrasing he says. He says like, whoa. It's like, why are you only just now coming to us with this information if you feel so strong that it's the boyfriend? And then Robin almost like, again, great performances here.
But he was like trying to save his testimony.
It's like
weirdly.
Robin like kind of clocks it. Did you see this?
Yeah.
That Robin
he
looks
realizes
at
that
Al
he fucked up.
Pacino and he's like, oh, I see what you're telling me to do. You're telling me that I'm fucking up. Oh, well, I suppose it is all circumstantial and maybe this doesn't matter, whatever. Like he's almost trying to
he's
walk
like kind of coaching him, but they hate each other. It's
yeah. Great. And so then Robin's like, yeah, it's all circumstantial, but I did hear about a gun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're like, what?
What gun?
What gun? It's like he had a 38 caliber, I think, an old handgun. And then
the other cop like runs out there and is like, I'm calling judge. I'm calling the judge.
Well, yeah, this other cop, the main detective, is like eating all this up like an idiot because he is. But then Robin does a beautiful performance here because he says, yeah. And, I think Kay told me that Randy kept the gun in a dry vent by the floor.
Yeah.
And it signals like, yeah, I found that gun that you tried to plant on my apartment.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, shit. Oh,
Yeah.
shit. And so Pacino's like, oh, my God.
You figured me out.
And so he's like, get the judge on the phone. We got to get a warrant for Randy's apartment. And Pacino's like, so Pacino does the thing where he's like, I think you wanted to fuck her. I think you wanted to have sex with her. It's like, no, I just wanted to be a mentor. It's like, no, I think you're a sick freak, blah, blah, blah. And he like, does the back up. It's like, tell me the truth, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, whoa, detective, maybe you should step away for a second. It's like, I need a fucking break. But where he's actually going is to Randy's apartment because he needs to make sure that the gun got planted in the right place. Or why do you think he went to the apartment?
He goes to the apartment to find the gun. He's trying to save Randy. I think he's trying to save Randy.
Interesting. Because I read it as he's thinking, oh, fuck. Did Robin just give them the golden goose without actually planting the golden goose?
Pacino is still kind of convinced that, like, I think at this point that he can somehow still figure this all out.
Get Finch behind bars and come out of it unscathed?
Yes. He's still trying to figure it out.
Interesting.
And he doesn't want another innocent person's, essentially, to be arrested on his conscience.
Yeah.
And so I think he's going to find the gun and get it out of there. So that when the cops show up, they don't find any evidence.
You're right, because I think
because if the cops find the gun there, he has nothing on Finch.
The biggest toil to Pacino is the fact that they're about to imprison an innocent person.
Yes.
Granted, Randy is a piece of shit, but he's not a killer.
He's innocent of the crime.
Yeah. So you're right. So he runs to the apartment.
Yeah. He can't find the gun. He hides in the bathroom.
The cops then break in the door with the search warrant. And he's like, fuck, they're going to find me. I'm going to get caught. This is all going to come down because the gun's not in the dry vent. And then as one of the detectives is about to open the bathroom door where Pacino's hiding, like, hey, we found it. He put it in the motor oil.
Yeah.
And then, so they all walk away and Pacino does something really smart. He just calmly walks out of the bathroom, puts on some gloves, and you're like, oh, you came here just in time.
Yeah.
Just very smooth move.
Very smooth.
And he's like, so you found the gun? It's like, yep, it's the same caliber too, 38.
And then
Randy gets
arrested.
Yep.
It's kind of the last time we see him.
It is the last time we see him, yeah. Pacino and Robin meet up again.
Yes.
And it's like by a lake or something.
Yeah, it's actually at the Squamish estuary. I was there and I recognized it.
Nice.
It's a good spot.
Good spot.
Yes.
Yes. And he's basically like, this is Pacino kind of just like being at his highest like tiredness stage, but also guilt ridden stage, because he's saying like, yeah, great, the plan worked, but we just put an innocent person behind bars. And Robin's like,
he wasn't innocent. He beat her.
He wasn't innocent. He was beating her. And we forgot one more piece of a phone call, but that filled in a lot of context. So to go back a little bit, this is before the gun was found.
Yeah.
Robin and Pacino share another phone call from Pacino's hotel room. Robin calls him and he says, hey, so, I've got everything settled with the gun and maybe we could do the dress. The dress is a good idea. Maybe we could plan that on Randy too. And Pacino's listening to this and internally we know what he's thinking, which is fuck me. Like, why am I doing this? Why am I helping this guy? And then Pacino says, like, Walter, why'd you do it?
Yeah.
And this is where, like, because before Pacino's really tired and Robin's sort of beating him down mentally with, it was just an accident. I didn't mean to kill her. I'm a good guy. And then you hear Robin's side of the story. It's like, well, she had a really bad day with Randy and she came over to the cabin and she was very like distressed. And so I just thought like, maybe I'll comfort her. So I gave her a hug and then she recoiled and she started laughing at me. And have you ever been laughed at when you're so vulnerable? I just wanted her to stop laughing. So I hit her. And then after I hit her, she started screaming. And then I was like, well, now she needed to stop screaming. So I hit her again. And then it all became clear.
Yeah.
And then I was calm. And she was gone. And it's at that point in the movie you realize this guy's a fucking murderer.
Yeah, he's actually a murderer.
He's actually a murderer. And he will do it again.
Yes.
He was going to find somebody else.
He got the thrill and he's going to do it again.
He's going to do it
At
again.
this point, he's already setting up who the next one's going to be.
Yes.
Because he tells them he has some letters from Kay and they should come pick him up at his cabin, and Hilary Swank says should come pick him up.
So yeah, and cut back to the scene with Robin and Pacino. He's talking to Robin and he's like, yeah, I think I should just come forward and be like, whoa, like, why would you want to come forward? It's like, we're scot-free, man.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to pin it on Randy. Randy's going to go away forever, and you can go on the LA plane tonight or tomorrow, and you don't have to think about any of this. You walk away from your partner. You walk away from the internal affairs investigation. You walk away from the murder. Like, you don't have to think about this at all. Pacino's just so fucking beaten down and exhausted, and he's just like, and he's like, did you make any copies of that tape? And he's like, what? And he's like, did you make any copies of that tape?
Did you know where the drug's going?
And he's like, no, I didn't make any copies of the tape. And he throws the tape into the river or whatever. And he pulls out his gun. He's like bordering on like wanting to shoot him. He's like, I could just shoot you right now. And he's like, yeah, but what good would that do, man? Because then you shoot me and then they find out it's a bigger cover up now. Now you're in way too deep. They find out you killed me because you wanted to pin this on Randy to save your career. Think about it, detective. And like Robin just is so good. He's like so good at like manipulating this guy. Because I'm sitting there being like, yeah, you're kind of fucked, man.
He's cooked.
You're cooked. And so then we're back at his hotel room. We get one final scene.
He confesses to Maura Tierney.
Of the internal affairs
thing, and that he killed Eckert, and it's ultimately like I like the little beats with Maura Tierney, like they're well performed.
Yeah,
it's kind of ultimately the most superfluous part of the movie.
Yeah,
like it really doesn't do much.
This is like the priest confessional scene.
Yeah,
where it's like Maura Tierney's in the room, and like, what's she gonna do?
Yeah,
like
her involvement in the movie, as much as I like the scenes, is really like unnecessary.
Because he says like. He tells her the whole story about like, hey, there was this child murderer that we were after and I was searching his apartment. We knew he was bad. We knew he did it, but we just needed one more piece of evidence. So I planted some blood evidence at this guy's place and got him thrown in prison. And he says, do you think that was the right thing? She says, I think it was whatever you felt like you needed to do at the time.
Yeah, whatever was right.
Whatever was right at the moment and whatever you can sleep with, you know.
But I can't sleep. And then they like sleep together. It's implied.
She falls asleep in his room or whatever.
Yeah, like she is in his bed.
I don't know.
He leaves.
That was weird.
It's weird.
There's no sexual tension there.
There's no sexual tension or any indication that they had sex. He just cuts to her waking up in his bed.
So weird.
It's a very strange plot line in the movie.
Yeah.
But Pacino is basically, he goes to the bar with all of the cops and they're all like, yeah, we did it, guy. We did it, Joe. And he's just like,
At this point, Hilary Swank, because she got fed the line by Pacino, make sure all your facts are in order, she starts to find some holes.
She's basically figured out that he shot Eckert.
Because the first clue is that where Pacino said he was when he heard the second shot
doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
The way Eckert's body fell.
The way Eckert's body fell doesn't make sense. And then she goes back to the beach.
She finds the clip, the casing.
The casing, the 9mm casing. and she looks and she finds out. She opens up. This is my favorite part because she goes back to her thesis paper from the academy, which was one of his cases. And in the line, it says Detective Dormer pulled out his backup Walter 9mm to shoot the guy. And it's like, so she knows he has a Walter 9mm. And I'm like, what? Okay. Like
she's the most like, I mean, he keeps telling her tiny things.
Yeah.
And she fucking finds the tiny things.
Yeah. And so she goes to the bar, and at this point, she knows he killed his partner. And she's like, hey, like, I want to talk to you about something. Like, do you really think? And she's like, honey, the case is closed.
Yeah.
Like, he's still kind of like burnt out about it. So then she decides, like, she's going to go over to Walter Finch's summer cabin and pick up the letters. At this point, Al Pacino's packing his bags, but then he has a come to Jesus conscious moment.
No, he realizes that he has some sort of like moment where he's going to go to Finch's. I think he's just going to go shoot Finch. That seems to be what he's just going to do. He's just going to go there and just shoot him because he breaks in his apartment with a gun.
Yeah, you're right.
And there's no Finch there, but he does find the letters that Hilary Swank was ostensibly going to get.
Yes.
And he realizes that
it was all a ploy.
It was all a ploy that Robin Williams is going to kill Hilary Swank when she gets there.
Yeah.
She's the next victim. So he rushes to the apartment. He's falling asleep on the road. He's so sleepy. He's so tired.
Very tired.
He sees like a truck coming at him. And, oh my God, he's falling asleep on the wheel. Car does a flip and all that. He winds up at the cabin. Hilary Swank also winds up at the cabin. Hilary Swank gets attacked and knocked out by Robin Williams and put in the attic.
Yep.
Unsecured.
Unsecured.
She just wakes up and walks out through the window.
Yep.
But Pacino shows up and
your second victim's going to be like, because your first victim's a helpless like 17-year-old girl.
He's going to be a hardened cop.
And he's like, it's time to go after the 30-year-old grizzled cop now. Like, what the fuck, dude? No restraints? Like, what are you doing?
What's the plan here?
But then, Pacino comes in. He gets in a tussle with Robin. Then Robin is able to get the upper hand, but then Hilary Swank comes in and chase him off. He runs to like a backyard over the Lake Pier shed.
He runs to a second shed.
A second shed out in the water.
Sir, a second shed has hit the river.
Hilary Swank's gun was taken. He also pulls out a shotgun, starts shooting at the house. They take cover. Pacino gives Hilary Swank his gun. It's like, I got 7 bullets in this clip. Make it count.
He clambers through a floorboard under the bridge and comes up behind Robin. They tussle and then they shoot each other.
Yeah, because he's able to get the gun out of Robin's hands.
Shotgun from Robin.
But Robin says, Detective Dormer, wild card, and pulls out Hilary Swank's gun, shoots Pacino, but Pacino, who is holding the gun, then also shoots Williams.
He shoots Williams with a shotgun.
So they both get shot.
And we get Robin Williams getting shot and then dying and falling into the river where he sinks to the bottom like a specter.
Yes.
Eventually disappearing, releasing all of the guilt in Pacino's mind.
And Pacino's bleeding out.
Yeah.
Hilary Swank runs over and she has the little baggie with a 9mm. She says, hey, I'm going to throw this away.
Yeah.
So you're in the clear.
We can let it all go. And she says, no.
Don't twist yourself.
Don't sell your soul.
Yeah.
Don't be like me.
Don't be like me.
He says, he doesn't say that. He says like, don't sell your soul or don't lose your soul.
Don't lose yourself.
Yeah. Don't lose yourself.
Yeah.
And then he says, let me sleep. And he dies. But he just takes a big fat nap. It's an eternal nap.
It's a dirt nap.
It's an eternal nap.
Yeah. He goes into the ultimate dirt nap.
When you're that fucking tired, it seems like a pretty good deal. Just get shot.
Well, I think they say like he at this point in the movie, he has been 6 days without sleep.
Yeah.
Which you can do.
You can do. It just would not go well for you.
I think the record is 11 days.
Yeah, which seems like a terrible thing.
It sounds horrible.
You know what's good?
Sleeping.
Yeah. It's a good vibe.
It's a really good vibe. Sleeping is great.
Sleeping when you hit the right amount of time. Nothing
yeah.
better. When you sleep too much, you kind of feel like you wasted your day. When you sleep too little, you're tired.
For me,
when you nail the correct pocket.
For me, it's 7 to 8.
7 to 8 is that's the right number.
Sometimes even 8 can feel like too much. Like perfect 7, a crisp 7,
7.5.
7.5.
7.5 is a good number.
Is such a good number because like 9, a little too much.
Nine, unless you really need it. Nine's where you're like, God, I wasted half my day.
You wasted half your day and you wake up a little bit groggy.
Yeah.
And then 6 hours, I've made it work with 6 hours, but anything less than 6 hours, I'm like, okay.
You know what all-timer vibe is, though?
What?
When you're, like, really tired, you get, like, 6 hours of sleep. You wake up, go back to sleep for, like, 3 or 4 more hours. End of the day, it's, like, 9 to 10 hours. But you feel like fucking you could defeat Lex Luthor.
Are you a
when
nap
wake up.
guy? Do you like
I
naps?
can't do naps.
I can't do naps either.
Never been able to do a nap.
No. Angelica does naps all the time.
I once I am awake in the morning, I physically just kind of fall asleep until the end of the day.
Yeah, same.
I can't even like accidentally take a nap.
Angelica's like a wizard at it. I don't know how she does it. She can just fall asleep wherever.
Yeah.
It's kind of ridiculous.
It's impressive.
Yeah, it's really impressive.
Most impressive.
Half the time you come over to my place, she's usually asleep on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Should check her iron levels.
Magnesium or whatever. But no, Pacino takes a big fat nap to death, to hell.
And we cut to black credits.
Cut to black, directed by Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the movie.
Insomnia.
Chicka chicka. So
good movie.
Good movie. Came out, got good reviews, good reception. Roger Ebert says, unlike most remakes, the Nolan Insomnia is not a pale retread, but a re-examination of the material like a new production of a good play. Robin and Al Pacino get praise for their performances. Budget, $46 million. Box office, $113 million. So it makes money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just a nice little good movie.
Makes a good little profit.
Makes a good little profit, and it keeps Christopher Nolan on the upswing that he'll ride on.
It's enough of a success that he is able to get Batman Begins off of it.
Yes. Which, like, watching this movie, it makes sense why they'd be like,
this is the guy you'd hire to do.
This is the guy you'd hire to do.
If you want to do, if your last Batman movie is Batman and Robin, and you want a radical new take on Batman, the guy who made Insomnia and Memento is exactly who you would hire.
Yeah, exactly. Stars aligned.
It's a good success. And for Robin, we kind of already did his post-sex earlier.
Yeah.
Where it's like he kind of pivots out of this style of movie right away after this.
Yeah. Yeah. Like he does the final cut, which I think is one of his only other dramas, but that one doesn't do as well critically or box office wise. This is kind of like his last, like, of his evil trilogy movie that, like, does well at the box office and also does well critically.
Yeah.
And it's a shame, just on a commentary aspect of it. It's like, it is kind of a shame that that 1 hour photo Insomnia didn't, like, put Robin on a new trajectory course that would have given him a little bit more of a juice fire, You like that phrase? Juice fire.
I like it.
Like, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
It's like, it just seems like this didn't do much for him in the grand scheme of the year.
Tragically it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's because the movie's like, it's a moderate success, but it's not a huge success.
Right. It's not a big
to the
enough
degree
success.
that people are going to talk about Robin in a real way off of it.
Because Insomnia, people...
If this movie makes $450 million, Robin Williams gets an Oscar nomination for it, probably.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. But it doesn't.
We've talked about 1 hour photo being like, that's the creepy Robin movie. Insomnia, Robin, yes, is part of the conversation. But most of the conversation is, Insomnia. That's one of the early Nolan movies, right?
The Nolan of it all overtakes any other context about it.
Yeah.
The Robin of it all is like kind of a curio.
Yeah.
It's like, Robin Williams played a serial killer in a movie? That's cool.
Yeah.
More so than I would be like, Robin Williams serial killer movie.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I don't know. But I liked it. It was good.
I like it a lot.
It was good. I give it 3 out of 5.
Warner Brothers, or who made this movie?
I think this is Warner.
Am I on? Maybe I'm wrong.
Who is distributed? Warner Brothers. Yep.
Okay, Warner Brothers, put this movie out on 4K, please.
Yeah.
All the other Nolan movies are on
great
4K. We should probably put this one on.
Memento on 4K.
Actually, Memento isn't, so we should put that one out too. But
I
think
Memento deserves a 4K before Insomnia.
We should probably just do both of them. Why not do both of them at the same time?
Que no es both.
Que no es both.
Que no es dos, I think.
Que no es dos.
I don't know what it is. People are
no que los dos, I think. Yeah, I think that's really kind of it for Insomnia.
I really got nothing else to say. Sadly or unfortunately, like I just feel like it's.
I do like the part where Hilary Swank throws a Pacino line at him, and he's just like, "Sounds like something I'd say, doesn't it?"
Yeah.
He's chewing gum at night. He like wakes up with just a wad of gum in his mouth. It's very funny. Yeah, good movie. Would watch again.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess like thank you all for listening to this episode of Insomnia. I got a little sleepy talking about this movie.
I'm a little sleepy right now.
Right? If you like this episode,
You know what I'm going to go home and do?
sleep.
I'm going to go home and make some cookies. And I'm going to drink some eggnog. Because I'm wearing a sweater and tis the season, buddy.
'Tis the season, yeah.
I feel like getting fucking cozy right away.
I'm going to warm up some of my leftovers. I'm going to play some more Hogwarts Legacy.
I'm going to be so cozy tonight.
This episode
I'm going to send you a picture of how cozy I am tonight.
Good. Very good. But yeah, if you like this episode, please remember to rate, review, comment, like, and subscribe. It really does help out our outreach to get more followers and listeners. You know, we're always trying to expand our podcast, even though people hate our ads. Sorry.
Do people hate our ads?
I don't know. If people hate our ads. I don't like our ads that much.
Yeah.
As always, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, Amazon Music, so many other places where our podcast is available. Wherever you get your podcast, we're probably on it. Special thanks to Michael Bodegum Smith for the theme music and Rebecca for the graphic design. Thank you all for listening to Insomnia. Join us next week for the Roodles 2 Can't Buy Me Lunch.
Fucking crazy
I
sentence.
can't believe that's a sentence I actually said out
The
loud.
Roodles 2 Can't Buy Me Lunch.
Robin Williams is in the Roodles 2 Can't Buy Me Lunch. I think it's just a cameo role, though, so it barely even counts. Bill Murray's in it, too.
It's a sequel to Eric Idle Beatles.
Yeah, he's clearly doing a favor to like Eric Idle.
Yeah,
and
his friends in Monty Python.
The more important thing, though, is yes, next week is the Riddles 2, but the week after that
It's the Christmas episode.
is the Christmas
It's Very
episode
Charlton Christmas 5
that is coming out
on
Christmas Eve.
Yes. We will talk about that more when we get to it, but the stars aligned this year, and we are actually covering a real Christmas movie that Ron Williams is in. Happened by complete accident to line up with coming out on Christmas. So
It's perfect.
get ready because we will be discussing a real movie that is also going to be our very Trolls and Christmas craziness spectacular. We will have to talk about Capital One. We will be talking about a lot of things.
You said a very Travolting Christmas 5. Have we done 5 Christmas episodes? But we're on season 4.
Yeah, but we've done 5 years of this.
Yeah, but that would mean one season we've done 2.
Yes.
Oh, was it Travolting?
Well, remember there was the one year where we did like the hodgepodge one? Because, Stuart, we did a very Trolls and Christmas. Where we covered the Capital One ads and the I Think You Might Like It music video. Remember this?
Yes.
We did the second one, which was the Brendan Fraser White House Christmas video.
Yes.
We did the third one, which was at first going to just be a picture of Winona Ryder wearing a Santa hat, but then it was the Shepherd.
Yes.
And then we did the fourth one, which was the Epcot Candlelight Processional.
Yes.
And then we did the fifth one. That is
the one we're about to do. Wow.
Yeah,
I can't believe we've done 5 years.
5 fucking Christmas episodes.
5. This is 5th Christmas episode. It's crazy.
We're on our 5th Christmas episode.
Can you believe we've done this podcast for 5 fucking
years? Yeah, we're coming up on
5
5 years. That's crazy.
5 years. Our first episode dropped February 2nd, 2021.
Yeah, that'll be very soon.
It'll be very soon.
Well,
all right. Thank you all for listening,
so
guys. See you next week for Riddles 2. Bye.